Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulamitan Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravajantam Anupeta Apeta Krityam Rapaino Viraha Katada Ajuhava Putreti Tan Maitaya Tadavo Binedus Tam Savabhutam Hridayam Unimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshay Kiptascha Kamari Tarangamadye Kripa Maitam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanara Vindam Tave Vasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Charanandike Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, we're going to continue. We're going to continue to hear beautiful stories and tattva about Srimati Radhika. Having had such a wonderful celebration on her appearance day yesterday. And first we will offer our most humble obeisance unto the lotus feet of our beloved Gurus, unto Sri Guru Pada Padmanithalita Bhavishta, Om Vishnu Parasto Tarsat Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru Pada Padmanithalita Bhavishta, Om Vishnu Parasto Tarsat Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Gosvami Raj, under our exalted Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So yesterday we were hearing from this extraordinarily beautiful lecture by Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj, given in 2002, and we read most of it. Unfortunately, that was not saved. I made a mistake. To hear that, so nice. So we're going to finish this. I'll back up a little bit and reread a little bit of what we had read. And then there's something else we can hear if we have lots more time. So we had heard the glories of Srimati Radhika from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In this lecture there were quotes from the 4th chapter of Adi Leela, which has so much Radha Tattva and so many beautiful things. And one of the key verses that is given is Devi Krishnamai Prokta Radhika Pada Devata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. So she who shines brilliantly and who is non-different from Sri Krishna is called Srimati Radhika. She is most worshipful and presides over all goddesses of fortune. She possesses all splendor and completely bewilders Sri Krishna. She is the supreme internal potency of the Lord. So, we heard that, and we heard beautiful explanations of that verse from Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj. We heard another verse from the Bhagavatam, spoken by the gopis who were trying to find Krishna after he disappeared from the beginning of the Rasa Leela, and they stumbled upon his footprints, and they followed them, and then they saw where they joined with another set of footprints from some unknown Kishori, some other gopi. And most of the gopis, so many that were following, especially from the camp of Chandravali, they could not recognize or clearly detect whose footprints they were. But Radhika's own group, the Swapaksha group, those are her own followers, just by seeing the footprints and the symbols contained on the bottom of those feet, they understood immediately this is Radhika. But they all uttered a verse, some knowingly and some unknowingly who it was, but in either case they were glorifying Anayadadito Nunam, Bhagavan Haririshwara, Yan no Vihyaya Govinda, Prito Yam Anayad Raha. Surely this gopi has truly worshipped Aradito, right? Bhagavan Sri Hari, the supreme autocrat. Otherwise, why has Govinda left us all and only taken her with him? So they're all amazed and stunned and overwhelmed. This gopi must have so much love. Now, what kind of sentiment does that create in the heart of a gopi? In the spiritual world, there is no envy like we have here. Our jealousy makes us resent the good qualities of another, right? We're like what they call crabs in a bucket, in cultures that hunt for crabs. After they catch them, they put them in a bucket. And one clever crab may reach up to the edge of the bucket and start to pull himself out. And then another crab will grab it and pull it down. This happens so frequently that they have that phrase. But it's not that kind of jealousy. They recognize the superior qualities, but they aspire within their own heart, oh, I wish I had that quality. I wish I could please Krishna like that, because the gopis' hearts are empty of everything except the desire to serve and please Sri Krishna. And so anyone who can serve and please him, they glorify, they love. There's so many verses in the Bhagavatam where the gopis are praising the deer, the clouds, the Jamuna, right? The cowherd boys, for their qualities of devotion. Oh, if only we had some devotion like they did, right? That's their only aspiration. So this verse, oh, this gopi is so superior. She must be, that Krishna left all of us to be with her. Now also we can extend that. Srila Prabhupada used to try to convey to us this idea of supporting one's god brothers and god sisters, and when you see them performing wonderful seva, the mood should be, oh, I want to do seva like that. And you might think, I want to do even better seva. But not from the position of false ego, where you want to do better seva so that you'll be praised more and recognized, and that person will be diminished. But since they pleased Krishna so nicely, I also want to please Krishna. Or they pleased my guru so nicely. They've inspired me to do even more seva. And rather than resent that person's service, we should glorify it, and we should be completely willing to assist, even without desire for recognition. When you desire recognition for your service, it diminishes the value of it. That's our tendency. When we do something, we want to be recognized and glorified. Oh, have you seen what I did? I made such beautiful garlands. I cooked this. I distributed so many books. And in the beginning, devotees are praised for that. And we feed off that praise, and if it stimulates you in your service in the beginning, okay. However, that's called pratishta, this desire for reputation and praise. Pratishtasha is that hankering for that. And that is the most powerful knot that binds us to this material world. Raghunath Das discusses this in Manashiksha. We mentioned this the other day. You can't hear it too often, right? To take pleasure from being praised by others is like thinking that you're being cleaned in a hot shower of donkey urine. That's what he says, not my words. So if you're underneath this big platform and you don't know that there's a donkey standing on top, and you think that that stream of water coming down, that warm stream that you're washing and putting all over your face and body, and you're feeling cleansed and happy and relaxed, it's actually donkey urine. But if you're ignorant and debased, you think it's very nice, right? There's so many things that people do for pleasure that they think are very nice, but actually debased. And the most debased thing of all is to seek praise and honor from others. So Mahaprabhu says what? Right? Amanina amana dena. That we don't seek our own praise, but we offer all respects to others. And then kirtaniya siddhahari. Only when we really embrace and embody the qualities of humility. So Radha and Krishna, in their relationship, are both the most humble towards each other. Krishna's a hero with four kinds of qualities, or four kinds of heroes. And of course, one of his qualities is he's very brash and very arrogant and a braggart, right? But he's that in a very delightful way, right? It gives great joy to his devotees to see him acting like that. When he was appearing as Mahaprabhu, when he was a scholar, he also appeared like that. Everybody was afraid of him as he walked up and down the roads of Navadvip, challenging everyone. They would flee rather than try to confront him. But when Krishna does it, it's quite delightful. But with Radhika, he has so much humility. His whole life is meant to glorify Radha and serve her, and her whole life is to glorify her beloved and to serve him. But Radhika also glorifies all others who serve Krishna. So that should be our mood. So that gopi, and this quality of humility, it's not an artificial thing. It's actually a quality very akin to prema. That prema, the higher the prema in someone's heart, the greater the humility that they will have. Right? So, we heard that yesterday. And then we heard another verse that Krishna's Kaviraj spoke. Ata eva sarva puja parama devata sarva palika sarva jagatera mata. Therefore Radha is Parama Devata, the supreme goddess, and she is worshipable for everyone. She is the protectress of all, and she is the mother of the entire universe. More evidence. And then Gurudev gave this very beautiful story that's also related in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Radhika meets her dear friend Vrinda Devi and says, "Oh, Vrinda, where have you been?" "Oh, I've been to Radha Kund." "Oh, and I saw Krishna there." And Radharani immediately, eager, "Oh, Krishna, what was he doing?" And Vrinda Devi replied, "Oh, he was dancing." And Radha asked, "Well, he's dancing? Who is his teacher?" And Vrinda Devi told her, "Your reflection, Radhika, which he sees in every tree." And just as when Krishna is separated from Radhika, he's seeing her everywhere. When Radhika is separated from Krishna, she is seeing him everywhere, in every tree, in the dark cloud, right? The rubbing of the bamboo together sounds like the flute. Everything is in Udipan, the peacock's dancing. So, one day, if we become ourselves deeply imbued with this love for Krishna, those same stimuluses will come to our heart and make us remember. You know that story of, I guess it's Murari Gupta? No, who was it? Satyaraj Khan? Anyway, he was a royal physician, and he was with the king, Muslim king, and they were sitting together on a raised platform. And the servant of the king, Muslim king, was fanning him with a peacock feather. And when he saw that peacock feather, Yeah, it could have been Morai Gupta. Anyway, when he saw that peacock feather, it immediately reminded him of Krishna and Radha dancing, and so many remembrances came into his heart that he fainted in ecstasy, unconscious ecstasy. And he fell from that high platform onto the ground. And the king was startled and very afraid. Oh, he may have died, and he ran down. And, oh, are you all right? And he sprinkled water on his face, and he revived. And the devotee said, oh, I apologize. I have some disease, some epilepsy, and sometimes I faint. The king was very intelligent and educated, and he understood, oh, this is a great devotee of Bhagavan, and this is a symptom of his ecstasy. So these are called udipan, right? In the alambana, or the support for rasa has all these ingredients. There's the sthayi bhav, that we have our own identity, right? Our own fixed relationship and means in which we desire to serve Krishna. And then there are the external manifestations of our prem, the anubhavs. There are the internal transformations, the sattvika bhavs. There are the 33 transitory emotions, rabhichari bhavs. But the support, the foundation, are the vishaya and ashraya. The vishaya is the object of love. The ashraya is the abode of love. We are ashraya. Krishna is vishaya. Right? He's the object of love, and within our hearts, or within the hearts of the purified devotees, they are the ashraya. But the udipan are those things which stimulate that love, which cause it to bloom and be enhanced. And so for advanced devotees, right? Oh, I remember taking a walk one time in Oakland in 1998. It was, Gurudev came to the Bay Area, and one very nice devotee, Radhakanta, had hosted all the devotees in a monastery that they rented out. And they would take a walk in a nearby park. And in that park there were deer. And Gurudev saw the deer, and he was immediately, oh, and he began to speak about Vrindavan and the deer of Vrindavan, right? And so that immediately, because it was his talk, it immediately stimulated within our dark hearts something more than what usually resides there. And all of a sudden, by his descriptions, we could imagine the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, the deer coming to witness these pastimes, right? Or the deer coming to lick the body of Mahaprabhu. But he was seeing that. What he was feeling inside, we have no idea. But immediately, he began to speak like that, right? So then, Sundaram Maharaj, he went on to explain more, especially this Sarva Kanti. What is Kanti? It means, Kanti indicates Krishna's desires, and Radhika is the only one who can fulfill all the desires of Krishna. And again, back to the idea of the Rasa Leela, hundreds of millions of gopis, but without Radhika, it's like having a beautiful necklace or locket surrounded by exquisite gems, but the central jewel is missing. And then, oh, what? Who would want to wear such a thing? It's empty. Right? The whole purpose of all the other jewels is to beautify and enhance that central locket. Without that central jewel, then what is their value? Right? So then we heard about, after hearing all about these different moods of Radhika, then we heard about Mahaprabhu, and that this is Krishna himself coming covered by Radhika's mercy, imbued and covered with the complexion and internal moods of Srimati Radhika. He comes to taste the position of a devotee. And there are two aspects of Mahaprabhu. In his early pastimes, he shows a great deal of his identity as the Yuga avatar, coming to spread the glories of the holy name and the confidential meaning of the holy name and the opportunity to enter into Braj Prem by the chanting of that holy name, but his own personal desire was to taste the moods and the love of Srimati Radhika towards himself. And so in that identity, he feels himself to be Radhika herself. Right? And there are so many descriptions of that. The Rath Yatra pastimes, where he's dancing in that mood, and so many others in the Gambhira. So, then we heard this amazing verse that's inscribed at the Radharaman Mandir in Vrindavan. It's Krishna's moods. And everything that he does, even though he's engaged with all these other devotees, it's all a pretext or a situation that's going to allow him to come into connection with the gopis and Srimati Radhika. When he goes out cow herding, right? It's to go into the Vrindavan forest, witness its beauty, and then leave the cowherd boys for some time and make a secret rendezvous in the midday and afternoon with Srimati Radhika, right? And everything he does is for that purpose, right? So then Radhika responds, right? Hearing Krishna's beautiful words, she reciprocates in a similar mood. We read this, but I'm going to read it again because I'm sure you don't remember it by heart. Maybe you remember some of it. Maybe you don't remember any of it, but you get to hear it again. So pray that by Srimati Radhika's mercy, this goes deep and the seeds are planted. So what can Radhaji say after hearing Krishna's words of his deep love for her, his praise for her, his immense attraction, and his very life is Radha. His very purpose in life is Srimati Radhika. She reciprocates in a similar mood. O Prananath, Lord of my life's breath, I am your eternal servant, and you are my life and soul, the only love of my life. I surrender myself unto your lotus feet. You may love me or neglect me by your actions or by your mind. You can leave me and make me suffer. Whatever you desire, your happiness is my happiness, and your life is my life. I do not want anything other than your happiness. Just as you know my happiness and sorrows, I also know yours. You feel happiness by seeing me, but by seeing you, I feel a happiness that is millions of times greater. There is no comparison to my happiness in these worlds. I am happy only by seeing your happiness. You are the reason behind whatever bliss I distribute to others, because the sole cause of my pleasure is your pleasure. I only desire your happiness. I want to see your happiness from morning to night and night to morning. The extraordinary conceptions in that, so different in every way from the love of this world, that she said over and over, is that I only live for your happiness. Completely selfless. And yet the most extraordinary thing, and this is described also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that despite being totally selfless, when the gopis realize that they've made Krishna happy, then they feel such immense pleasure, right? And then the most amazing thing is that pleasure they experience is greater than the pleasure that Krishna experiences by their service. Even though their service is completely pure, it's the highest service ever, they get more pleasure in their service than what Krishna gets being the receiver of service. This is the mystery of devotion, right? And this is why Krishna came as Mahaprabhu. So Krishna's not lacking. He's Krishna, he's Mahaprabhu, he and Radha are one. And sometimes in their loving pastimes, as Radha and Krishna, they come together and they're so deeply connected that they forget who is who. And Krishna thinks, I am Radha, and Radha thinks she is Krishna. They become merged in this pleasure of oneness, not the oneness of the Brahmajyoti, don't confuse it with that, but the oneness of meeting in the most extraordinary way. Right? But still, Krishna sees that, as my servant, as my beloved, Radhika is experiencing happiness so much more than me. So we should understand that when people, if they try to limit and try to say that the conceptions of Radha and Krishna were created to reinforce some patriarchy, right? This is some, Krishna's the predominating male and Radhika's the servant, and you're imposing this idea in this world, and women are now supposed to be subservient, and men are supreme and dominant. Not like that kind of male and female. Krishna's already said, right? I am completely devoted, surrendered. My whole life is meant for your happiness. And Radhika is saying, my whole life is meant for your happiness. But she admits, actually, my pleasure in serving you is millions of times greater. Is she bereft? No. So she's so fortunate that Krishna himself wants to take that position. So if Krishna himself wants to take that position, why do we resist it? Why do we resist wanting to serve? The more we serve, the more we enter into this realm, right? But we resist. The false ego is so powerful. It resists at every turn. The mind, the wicked mind. So she goes on to say, Radhika tells Krishna, by seeing me, you become happy. And therefore I decorate myself in many ways with ornaments, shringar, and decorations, alankar. I do this for you only. I do this because by seeing me thus ornamented and decorated, you feel great pleasure. I dedicate myself to your lotus feet only to increase your satisfaction and fulfill your desires. I become so happy when you say to me, you are my beloved, my mistress, my life and soul. No one can understand the happiness I feel. There is no comparison of it in this world. So what are we seeking? We can't approach this relationship yet with Radha and Krishna, but we can approach it through their servants. And that is what is our Guru Varga, our Guru Parampara. They are intimately connected with Radha and Krishna, and they've come to this world to connect us with this. And so our learning curve, learning the process, learning the nature of love, Sri Guru carries that love in their heart. In the Madhurya Kadambini, there's a beautiful description of Krishna and his Shaktis, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. And we heard something of this yesterday when Rasikananda Maharaj was talking about Radhika and the quality of karuna, compassion. Radhika takes her first bath in the morning and the nectar of compassion, right? She is the very abode of compassion. And Srila Narayana Maharaj calls this her most important Shakti. Right? And certainly for us, it's the most important, right? Because it's that compassion from Radhika's heart that empowers and stimulates all of her devotees to want to help us. The Nitya Siddha Parikars, they know nothing of this material world, right? But they are inspired by Radha herself to come, and Krishna places in the heart of his dear devotees that compassion, bhakti, that Samvit and Ladini Shakti, which the full power of it, with bhakti, they are empowered to come, and they are given absolutely free will, no rules and regulation, no limits, to distribute it everywhere, anywhere, however they see fit. So sometimes they distribute it in the context of very strict rules and regulations, how to do this, how to do that, when it's favorable. And sometimes they make concessions and make this available to the most unqualified, unable to follow hardly any rules and regulations, but if you serve and love me, I will give you this most precious gift. And this is certainly what Srila Prabhupada did when you know the history of his early days in America. And yet, even though those persons, these original devotees, they didn't know anything about rules and regulations. But they knew that Srila Prabhupada was the embodiment of love. It was so powerful, this Shakti he contained within him, so powerful, that it filled their hearts. And they were completely sold out, dedicated to him. And they went everywhere, accomplishing extraordinary things. Sometimes we want to look and detect, oh, but they're not doing this, oh, this fault, that fault. No. The whole key to success in spiritual life is attachment to Sri Guru, right? And ultimately to enter into a sense of Vishrambena Guru Seva, that I've abandoned all my own desires and wishes, and I only want to make my Guru happy. If my Guru is happy, then I feel that everything in my life is successful. And if we get to that point, then the gateway to all of this is open, right? So, and then how to do that? Well, our Guru's not here right now. He is, but we can't see him. But he's provided a platform, a foundation, a culture by which we can serve him intimately by serving his mission and serving his devotees. And not just his disciples, but all the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The mission of our Guru Varga, if you study, particularly read Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and how broad was his vision. He wasn't trying to establish a very specific church or sectarian mission. He is trying to help all living entities, no matter what sangha, what sampradaya, wherever they come from, their connection and identity with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He called it the Gauranga Samaj, right? And so, in the modern day Krishna consciousness movement, even within the brief time since Srila Prabhupada came, there are so many branches already. And sometimes people say, oh, they should all be united under our Sangha, because we really understand what's what and all. And someone else will say, no, not your Sangha, our Guru. No. It's perfectly acceptable to have the deepest love and attachment to your own Guru and to want to serve under that Guru's mission. But we should also have the vision to be able to understand, oh, these are all part of the same family. All right, maybe they don't have the same father, but they're cousins or cousin brothers, cousin sisters, right? Like in the Indian family, the extended family. They can feel like that, 6 generations removed, if there's some family connection, right? So, and therefore that same mood of appreciation and service to them. That's what this little festival is about. It's really cool. We had people from everywhere here, all walks of life and all devotional backgrounds, and even people that had not had much exposure at all. And because of that, and everybody was received so nicely, I have to commend, Rasikananda Maharaj, Malini Didi, and all those who did all the service. That mood guided the festival, and it was so nice. So nice. And that's what we aspire for. So then we hear Krishna telling the gopis, we heard this verse, Na parayeham niravadya samyujam, Sasadu krityam vibuddha yusapiva ya mahabhaja sorry, I start so good. Ya mahabhajan durja jage hasrinkala samvristya tadva pritiyatu sadhuna. Oh, my darling gopis, your meeting me is innocent and immaculate in every respect, because it is devoid of even a single iota of desire for your own happiness. It is overflowing with supremely pure love. Although the bonds of affection for the members of one's own home are impossible to overcome, you have completely demolished them. Thus, for loving service to me, you have transgressed the moral laws of this world. Even if I lived as long as the gods, I would be unable to requite even, that means reciprocate, right? You ever hear the word unrequited love? That means unreciprocated love. I would be unable to requite even one drop of your love, sacrifice, and service. All of you may free me from debt simply by your own gentle nature, but I am forever the debtor of your prema and will always continue to be. Right? So something there. We hear selfless, 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 but we also hear that in that selfless heart, the greatest happiness. So sometimes we might think, well, I want to be in that mood of selflessness, but is it wrong for me to want to enjoy the happiness of selfless love? That seems to be a contradiction, right? But no, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in Jaiva Dharma that that is not an inappropriate desire. The paramananda that comes from that seva, right? We want to experience it because that lifts us out of any connection or attraction to the mundane realm. Right? That is so high, so beautiful, so powerful. And what is it? Again, Radhika explained, what is the nature of that happiness? Oh, that Krishna is pleased. The two are inextricable. So it's not selfish happiness. It's happiness, oh, Krishna is happy, and that Krishna being happy, that floods us with happiness as well. So that's not wrong to desire. Now, so Krishna, let me see where we are here. Yeah, we can. Now Krishna has confirmed this by telling Sri Radha. This is where we left off yesterday. Everything else was kind of recapping. Krishna has confirmed this by telling Sri Radha, I am so indebted to you. How can I become free from this debt? You are the abode of mercy. Please be merciful to me. Only you can give me love and fulfill my desires. Although I can never repay my ever-increasing debt to you, still out of your kindness, never stop showering your mercy on me. This is my request. We can pray like this to our Guru as well. Perfectly suitable. I am so indebted to you. How can I become free from this debt? You are the abode of mercy. Please be merciful. Because Radhika is the original Guru. She is Krishna's Guru. Krishna tells Uddhava this. Right? She's my teacher in every way. The gopis, they teach me prema. They teach me the arts of love. So he's praying to his beloved, who is also his teacher in the art of love. So, our Guru is also our teacher in the art of love. So, you are the abode of mercy. Please be merciful. Only you can give me love and fulfill my desires. Although I can never repay my ever-increasing debt to you, still out of your kindness, never stop showering your mercy on me. This is my request. Right? And it's said, you can never repay Guru. Right? But there is one thing that Guru requests. Whatever you receive from him, you share with others. Right? This is Mahaprabhu's mission. He was traveling throughout South India, and he's on the village roads, on the King's Road, wherever he was, people would be walking, people coming by. And in a state of ecstatic, compassionate prema, he would glance lovingly at people, or sing to them, or say some sweet words, or touch them. And from his heart to theirs, this prema would be transmitted, and they would be transformed into this ecstatic, loving state. And what would happen? Then they would go back to their village, and whoever they saw would then be transported into that same state. And if there happened to be somebody visiting from another village who got that, then they would go back to their village. And it's stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in this way he delivered all of South India. But the question is, well, if you delivered everyone from South India, how come South India isn't all, Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Well, because it has its own specific moods, and as soon as somebody comes, leaves this realm, right, then more come, because this is like Durga, the prison house. And so the question is, what happens if everybody becomes liberated? No harm. There's always more to fill up the prison. They're always coming and going. So then, upon hearing this, Srimati Radhika becomes embarrassed. These sweet, overwhelming words of praise from Krishna. Then what does Radhika say? She says, "Oh, Shama Sundar, oh, you whose eyes are like lotus petals, oh, you who are the son of the king of Braj, oh, thief of my heart. I continuously have darshan of you within my heart. To meet with you, I will give up all rules and regulations of society. I will leave my in-laws' house and give up all consideration of shyness, respect from others, religion, and irreligion. I want to come to you and keep you as my own. I want to stay close to you and not lose you for even a moment. But I am only a village girl." See, this is an insight into why the Parakya mood is considered the highest and why Krishna appears in this world to perform these pastimes, and why the gopis are imbued by Yogamaya and Krishna in the mood that we are simple villagers and that we are under these rules and regulations. Everybody in Braj follows the Varnashram system, except when it comes to some point where they have to abandon it to give some special pleasure to Krishna. Remember in Govardhan Leela, when the lifting of Govardhan Hill and Anukut, before that, Krishna says, "Oh, Father, why are we doing this? Is this some Vedic prescription? Is it some tradition? Why are we doing this?" And his father gives a lengthy explanation. Now, the demigods are providing all of our wealth. They provide the rains, thus the grass, the rivers, everything comes. So we reciprocate and worship them. And Krishna says, "Oh, don't worship them. They're not the real cause of all this. Worship Giriraj." So they abandoned tradition. They were convinced by Krishna. And why was Krishna angry? He was angry because he had appeared and they are acting like ordinary villagers, but the audacity of Indra to accept the worship and service of my Brajbasis, my exclusively devoted Brajbasis. And so he became angry at Indra and he wanted to humble him. And the Rasa Leela and all the pastimes of the gopis, it's to show that their love is so complete that even though imbued with the idea of being married and having household responsibilities and being chaste and shy, they would give up all of that, the most important qualities of a girl in Vedic culture, especially cultured girls from respectable families, will sacrifice it all, not for our own happiness, but to give you happiness in this Rasa Leela. That's why they came, right? That's why they came. So, then earlier Krishna was saying that he's a villager. And now Srimati Radharani is also saying, I feel just like you, in that I have no qualities at all, and I am not beautiful. She's so humble, Radhika, the most humble. You, on the other hand, are extremely qualified and beautiful. You are the ornament of your dynasty. Contrast this to modern relationships, right? Where the whole thing is, well, what do you bring to the table? How much money do you have? What's your job? Whatever, They're constantly challenging each other, male and female. And how are you going to please me? And, what are you going to do for me? It's completely degraded. Even in Vedic culture, the idea of service to family, service to parents, service to children, service to husband, service to wife, there were specific duties that every person had to others because you become trained in that quality of service, right? But nowadays, completely abandoned. The very idea of offering service to anyone. What? You're not going to have your own truth and be your own, happy person. Serve? No, they should serve me. But Radhika, so sweet, so loving. Krishna, so sweet, so loving. I'm nothing. But you are so qualified, so beautiful. You are the ornament of your dynasty. There is no rasa in me. I have no idea about rasa. Whereas you are the abode of rasa. You are the ocean of mercy. So please bestow your mercy upon me by residing permanently in my heart. This is my desire. All this is based on the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Without the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami Pad and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, no one could have written about these topics. Our sampradaya is very rich. What is our wealth? Radhaji is our wealth. Radha's names are our wealth. The conception that Radhika is the center of all is exclusively for those in our Gaudiya Sampradaya. All other Sampradayas worship Krishna as the supreme. The specialty of the Gaudiya Sampradaya is that they worship that Krishna who feels separation from Radhika. In other words, the complete understanding of the absolute truth. Remember the example of the moiety, two halves of the same, like a pea. Half a pea isn't a pea, right? It can't do what a pea does. If you have only half a pea, it can't sprout, it can't grow into a beautiful creeper. So the absolute has two sides, the supreme male, the supreme female. They are equal, they are one, and yet they are distinguished by the two aspects that make each of them complete. Neither is inferior to the other. They are both aspects of the same complete loving personalities. Sri Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj is glorifying and praying to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in his kirtan, Udeshe Rachita Gita Bolia Prachalita. He says that Raghunath Das Goswami was always roaming throughout Vraj, sometimes in Nidhuvan, sometimes in Vamsivat, calling out, Radhe, Radhe. So that lecture was given in 2002 in the morning in Mathura, and I was there. But I don't remember. Sometimes I remember lectures that I heard from Gurudev. Don't necessarily remember this lecture, But I know that the seeds of that were planted in my heart because back then I didn't understand anything. Now I can't say that I understand much, but I understand a lot more. And so even if you feel, oh, this is all so new, so high, don't worry. Our acharyas, they carry that compassion in their heart, that full quality of Bhakti Devi, full knowledge and full bliss, and they put it into our hearts by their words, which have been preserved. So it's there, and you just keep doing bhakti, and you try to take the guidance of Guru, follow the moods that they're expressing, direct it towards your Guru, and this will come. It will grow more and more and more. So I guess we will stop here. Let me close this. Hopefully today I can save this. That's why I gave a little bit more recap, because we lost yesterday the whole lecture. I'm such a moron. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev, all glories to assembled devotees. Hari Bol.